Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, and welcome back to Pine Cove Farm. Yes, as you can tell, myself driving the yellow Challenger here, and Billy Bob are hard at work here, spreading a little slurry on this field. Basically, Billy Bob is running the semi over there with the tanker on it, and that is a course play route that's automatically running back to the dairy and picking up slurry and then bringing it alongside and emptying it into our field side container. And of course, I will be covering how you do all of that in a course play tutorial at some stage down the road. And it's quite easy to accomplish with course play. And it just, oops, wrong button, turn off that. And turn off that. All right, so hope you all are having a wonderful, wonderful week. I hope your Monday is getting off to the right start, and I hope that also the month of April is also off on the right start for you as well. So basically, Billy Bob has just emptied 30,000 liters of black gold of slurry into the field side storage container there, and then he is proceeding back to the dairy to pick up more. Our yield on this is about, we can get one full row down and we can almost get back to the start before we have to refill. So we basically will be needing to refill here shortly, and we'll get over there and take a portion out that he has just delivered. So I highly recommend it, especially if you're gonna do if you're gonna apply slurry on your fields. I highly recommend that you take advantage of course play to help you at least keep the field side container full of liquid slurry. And of course, you can also automate this process here as far as the spreading or the spraying of the liquid slurry, and even automate where the tractor, once the tanker is empty of slurry, he will basically stop, he'll fold up, he'll drive over to the field side container, refill, and then return and pick up right where he or she left off. So quite easy to do, and I'll be covering that in a course play tutorial at some stage, as I said. So stay tuned for that. So the last time that we were together, and by the way, this is episode number 14. I think I forgot to mention that when we got started. So welcome to episode 14 of Pine Cove Farm. And one thing, when we were together for episode 13, you might remember that we spent about a half hour, 25 minutes or so of that episode harvesting or cutting the corn on this field. This is field number 9. This was our corn field for the BGA. So we spent about 25 minutes or so doing that. I did a live stream pretty much within about 20 minutes or so of ending that episode. I fired up a live stream and did the live stream finishing up the rest of the field, and then probably spent another 45 minutes to an hour compacting it and moving it all around and trying to get it as even as possible. And so all that all that obviously paid off. We've got something like over a million liters of chaff that's currently fermenting, and I think we're about, I don't know, about 2% or so, about 2% done as far as the fermentation process goes. So we still have quite a ways to go with regards to that, but that'll, obviously that'll get done. So we'll go ahead and refill here, and hopefully we won't get in the way of Billy Bob when he comes flying around the corner, which I'm sure, well, he is coming there. He is right there. So hopefully we'll get filled up before he comes in. Otherwise, he'll just have to wait behind us. So that the chaff is obviously fermenting. I've got it already blanketed, and that's in the process of turning into silage. So I'm not sure if the seasons mod affects the silage fermentation process, so we'll just find out together if that is the case. I really don't think that it will be, and Billy Bob will just have to wait there in traffic for just a moment until we get filled up here. But I do want to, well, I'm not going to apologize. I'm going to stand by what I said in episode 13. But basically, you know, in episode 13, I was sort of talking about the fact that I felt that that basically I felt that the Giants process, what they put into Farm Sim 17 with regards to handling of the chaff, silage, all that kind of stuff, was maybe half-baked. And I don't know if I used that word in episode 13 or not, but it's just kind of it's a technical term that is used in the, you know, in the software industry to just more or less say that, you know, there's still some things that need to be done with regards to the whole process and just making sure that everything is working the way that it's supposed to. But I've got to say that even though it's a little bit more difficult to deal with having to back the tipper and the tractor and everything in, and I struggled with trying to get Courseplay to kind of do that, because Courseplay wants to, as soon as it reaches the tip point, essentially Courseplay wants to, I tell you what I'm going to do right quick. I'm going to just get into this guy here. And where is my mouse? There it is. I'm going to do stop at last trigger point so that he will stop up there, because we don't really need any more slurry down here than what we have, and so we'll just go with that. But anyway, once I kind of got everything into the silage bunker, then it was quite easy to move it around and compact it and everything, because of the silage bunker has the end there. Okay, it's got the concrete wall at the very end, so you don't really have to worry about your silage being pushed out of the bunker if it's like a drive-through type bunker. And of course, those are very easy to set up Courseplay routes with, because as soon as your tractor and your tipper reaches the tip point with inside the bunker itself, it starts emptying, and then it drives all the way through, and even helps in the compaction process of the whole thing. But so it wasn't so bad. But you know, we've got, like I said, over 1 million liters of chaff, so that will basically be 1 million and some odd liters of silage once it's all fermented and ready to go. And so we'll get the wheel loader set up on a Courseplay route, and I'll show you that, how to do that. I'm going to do silage also on law folds. We're going to do a small field. Actually, we're going to lease the field. We're going to take advantage of the Bank of Hagenstadt mod, and we're going to actually lease the field that we're going to use for the corn on law folds. And but I'm going to do silage on law folds at the BGA, only to be able to illustrate the pull through straightforward through bunkers there, and that'll make it a little bit easier with regards to the silage stuff. So look for that once we sort of get rolling. Most likely kind of where I am right now, I've got some work commitments to do, so I probably won't record. This is, by the way, this is Tuesday the 28th of March that I'm recording this episode, and you guys are going to be watching this on the 3rd of April. But I do, this might be the last episode that I record until the weekend, but once I get in the swing of getting law folds going, we're going to probably be in the second day of spring the next time that we come together for an episode on that map. And at that particular point in time, we will be we'll be ready to do some seeding. So we'll be ready to probably plant corn for both farm use as well as the VGA. So gonna just pull up here and grab another load. This will be the last load of manure that we'll need for this field. And overload that. Now, believe it or not, there is a difference between digestate and liquid slurry. Now, of course there is, because they're named different things. And of course, the digestate comes out of the BGA. It is a byproduct of the processing of the silage or the compost or whatever else that we dump into the digesters at the BGA. So the digestate comes out of that, and then obviously we can place it in the digestate processing facility that creates the byproducts of the digestate are biofuel, solid fertilizer, and liquid fertilizer. Now we can also spread or spray the digestate on our fields as well. But this is kind of an awkward thing, because it took me a little while to get this episode going, getting the recording started, because basically what had happened a few episodes ago, I'd moved some digestate around, and I filled up the tanker, and I didn't have enough room to get everything from the black tanker trailer into the digestate tank here at the BGA. And so when I took the black tanker back to the main farm, it automatically overloaded into both the sprayer here that you see being pulled by the Challenger, as well as to the field side container. So I had a little bit of digestate in both devices, and also had some in my black tanker trailer. Well, I was basically trying to figure out why I was having a difficulty in getting the black tanker to automatically, through courseplay, load up the slurry at the dairy. And it was basically because it had some digestate in it. And unlike some things where if you have a small amount of something, like for example in your baler, for example, if you've been baling grass and you switch, or if you've been baling straw and you switch to hay, it will change the material that has been previously baled. It'll change that, and that will become whatever the other thing was. And so it wouldn't do that with the digestate that was in there. So I basically had to take the digestate out of the black tanker and the field side tanker and put it in this one, and then I basically started that field with a little bit, with about 5,000 liters of digestate, and then switched over to slurry. So that's just something to keep in mind. It might be beneficial to you if you're gonna, use these types of pieces of equipment, to keep them separated just a little bit, because I'm not sure why it automatically overloaded, but it did. And so that's just something for you to keep in mind. So we're going to basically drop this here, because we'll let we'll let Billy Bob or Jim Bob or one of those guys get that cleaned up. And I think we will also leave this here, and they can wash this guy up. And we are going to head up the hill here and get in our large John Deere and grab a cultivator and go ahead and cultivate that liquid slurry into the soil. Alright, slight snag there. Couldn't get the cultivator connected to the John Deere, so I had to go grab one of the large Challengers. But not to worry, we got it done, and we will head down and we will go ahead and cultivate that slurry into the ground. And that way that field will be more or less ready to take whatever we decide to plant with it, and we'll just kind of go from there. let me quickly take a look at the soil status here for that field. And we are on field number 9, and it has been light blue fertilized. I think maybe, just maybe, I think they may have got the fertilization thing worked out. So I had heard, basically we have this Slack, it's called Slack chat, and that's how we communicate with the developers, the mod developers of Seasons. And when I say we, I'm talking about like Reefy 1952 and Simulate and Landy Kid, etc. Those of us that are using the Seasons mod in our Let's Plays. And so, you know, initially I told you many weeks ago, maybe even a couple of months ago, when we were talking about the fact that, you know, started to play with Seasons and everything, and I said that there was an issue where it basically only recognized one-time fertilization. And I believe that they made some adjustments to that, so it's quite possible that it has been fixed, and we will just kind of test it and see how it goes. And because I would certainly like for it to be working. I think that it's certainly, you know, it gives us a little bit more, gives us more things to do when this kind of stuff is working right. And let's get rid of that offset, and off. And we'll get rid of that. So that would be cool if they've managed to fix the fertilization piece of it, because again, that'll kind of give us a little bit more things to do on the farm. And you know, it'll obviously, most of it, especially on a map like this, I will automate with Horseplay for additional fertilization steps. So you know, considering that everything is already planted that we're going to be taking advantage of for the fall harvest on this map, if we decide to plant anything for, you know, winter crops, I don't know if we'll get around to actually harvesting them, because like I said, you know, we've done a full season, a full year on Lawfolds, and I'm committed to continuing that map through at least the next harvest season. With this map, I think we're going to basically, you know, do this through the fall harvest into winter, and then probably look for a replacement map to take care of this series. Just because, you know, I think we need a change. I think you guys would like to see something different. I know I would like to play something a little different, and yeah, so we'll plan accordingly, and find something that we like. We'll find a nice, you know, a nice British style type map for our one Let's Play, and then find an American style map to replace Pine Cove Farm. And or who knows, maybe cattle and crops will be, you know, available as we're getting to a point to where that we're looking at changing out at least one of the maps. Of course, I would foresee that this would be the first map that we would probably reach our endpoint on, just because we are coming into the harvest season probably the next episode, whereas on Lawfolds we're just entering the planting season for that series. So my guess is that we'll probably wind this map down first, find a replacement, find the American style replacement that we want to use for to replace this slot, and then at that particular point in time, it will you know, we'll obviously be starting in the spring and go from there, just like we normally do. Finally, I got another piece of pretty good news today. I was watching one of Mike's, Reefy1952. And by the way, folks, if you guys have not visited his channel, please do. Mike is an extremely nice guy. Don't tell him I said that though. But no, he's a very, very nice guy. Mike has been my mentor, if you will, in all of this. Mike was pretty much the only YouTuber, and he and I both hate that name, by the way, but he was the first YouTuber that I knew. Don't know him personally, but I know him through PCSG. We've known each other for probably 2 years now. And so, but he was the first YouTube person that was doing videos successfully, producing farm sim videos on YouTube that I knew. And he really helped me tremendously. I owe Mike a lot when it comes to, the guidance and his help, not only his knowledge of farm sim stuff, soil mod back in the 15 days, or, he's helped because I don't have a lot of time to stay tuned into all of the happenings with the Seasons mod. I sometimes try to hit the Slack chat every 2 or 3 days and just kind of digest in all the information that has been communicated and has been discussed and everything, but Mike is very helpful. But anyway, please go out, check out Reefy1952. Mike does he's got multiple Let's Plays. He's got one that he's using pretty much all classic farming machinery equipment, small stuff, some of the old farming greats, and he's also doing other series as well. And he's just a really nice guy. He's very knowledgeable in farm sim and very knowledgeable in stuff all together in general, and so do that. Anyway, I was watching one of Mike's recent videos that he released, I believe just yesterday, maybe. I was watching it today, and again, today is the Tuesday, the 28th of March, and he mentioned that the mod developer behind the soil mod is starting to work on, or at least starting to look at how soil mod could be created, made, developed, whatever, or converted. Maybe a portion of it's converted from 15 to 17, but obviously there's a lot of other stuff that's got to be done to it, because it's not going to just be a slam dunk from 15 to 17. Anyway, that's good news, because I think with soil mod and seasons mod, oh my gosh, you're talking about soil mod changed farm sim 15, seasons has changed farm sim 17, and the two together would just be incredible. And basically, I told you this maybe several weeks ago, maybe even a month or more ago, that they are working together. Decker, who did the season or did soil mod, does occasionally pop into the Slack chat, and they all know that they need to basically make their mods work together, function together, and so that is obviously taking place, and that is very, very cool. All right, well, we are, sadly, we are coming up on our magic half-hour mark. We've got a few minutes away from that, I think, because I do have some edits that I need to do. And that'll take a couple of minutes out, I think. And I do thank you all for watching. We are getting closer and closer and closer to the 500 mark. Of course, as I'm, again, this is Tuesday. You guys are going to see this on Monday, so I think we're about 6 or 7 subscribers away from 500. No, none of this is about stats, none of this is about subscriber numbers. It's just that I am just flabbergasted, because soon after the first of the year, maybe a little bit before the first of the year, we hit 100 subscribers on the channel, and we have basically grown to almost, as I sit here, 500. Probably will be at 500 by the time you see this. And I'm blown away by that. I'm blown away that there's 500 of you that enjoy watching my channel, and so many of you have written very, very nice comments and such to me, and I just kind of want to read one here because it's these types of comments that I'm most proud of. And I will just wait a moment until I can make this turn, and then I will, that way I can reactivate GPS and then take my eyes and put it on the email that I want to share with you. So we'll lift the cultivator and we'll spin around here, and we'll get back on our mark, and we'll drop and hit cruise control. And this is from my corner. Now, I want to say that, I get an email. I don't always get an email, and this is just a YouTube thing, I think. But, I get an email when somebody posts a comment on a video. But unfortunately, I can't find this comment to like or comment back on a video, and I don't know why. But anyway, Mike states, Hi GBS, Grizzly Bear Sims. My family and I love the time and care you take to make these videos. They are children safe, and for us past the 50 in years, it is very satisfying to have the young ones enjoy a non-violent game experience with the knowledge you give them. Please keep the same heart and dedication in the knowledge that you are appreciated for the efforts. It is those types of messages that just make me smile all day long, because that's why I do what I do. I've had people, sort of make fun of me in the chat or in the comments, and I generally delete them when they are negative. But I've had a lot of people make statements like, am I holier than thou or something like that, because I do want to run a PG or a G, not PG, a G-rated channel. And I'm not discouraged by any of that. I will continue to produce the type of content that you have grown accustomed to seeing. I think I've got well over 150 or so videos I think out there. I've been doing this in earnest since late September, October. Started with Farm Sim 15, and obviously now we're into 17, and we're getting ready to gear up on cattle and crops as soon as early access is available. I'm not going to change a thing. I want this channel to be viewed by women and children, men and women and children of all ages is what I'm trying to say. And it will always be this way. It will always be a G-rated channel, and I'm not going to change that. So thank you all so much for recognizing that, and thank you for your comments, Mike. I really, truly appreciate you taking the time to write that, and I do apologize because I can't find it, so I'm not sure if you deleted it or if there's some kind of privacy thing set up with your profile that maybe doesn't allow for public comments or something, but I did see it, and I appreciate you taking the time to write that and tell me that. So thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate you tuning in like you do. Please remember to go over and check out PCSG as well as the Three Dudes Gaming Network, and check out all of my fellow friends who are doing such a wonderful job with their Farm Sim videos. And you'll find a link to all of those folks either down below the video or on my profile page. I also have links to friends' channels as well. So again, thank you all so much for watching, and please come back again very soon. Well, tomorrow for a Lawfolds video, and then of course Wednesday for another Pine Cove farm video. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Jerry. God bless you all. Bye-bye.